Hello everybody. Let me see if I got everything set up and going. Hello, welcome to my channel. Okay, so if you're new to my channel, I should start off by saying I haven't been uploading and posting to my channel in a while. I generally do travel content and vlogs and show all the cool towns that I see and go to attractions and locations and roadside stops and stuff like that. But the past 2 weeks I've been sick as a dog. So if you're not new to this channel, you've probably noticed that I've been doing a little decline in my uploading. And it's not that I don't have content to upload. I do. I'm just too sick to edit the content. So I'm trying to get over this cold. But I've been thinking about, because I just watched Carver Beggar's video. He's in California and he was at the Santa Cruz Boardwalk. I spent 10 years in the California Delta Bay and been to Santa Cruz many times. That was anytime I was sad or happy. I mean, that was basically where I went because I don't know, it's not like I love the beach. I didn't go swimming. I don't like the ocean. I like being by the water, but I don't like being in the water. But I liked it there, and I still do. And watching his video made me all nostalgic. Then it got me thinking about the Winchester House. Again, I'm sick, so I might trip over my words a little bit, which is why if I get through any of this, I plan to use a little bit of cliff notes from, well, this author that has helped me learn more about Sarah Winchester than anybody, and also the Winchester House themselves. They also, over the years, they've gone more on the side of, ooh, spooky. I mean, they still do spooky house kind of stuff like that, but they're trying to, I feel they're trying to be more on the side of like, look at this, look at this impressive woman, look at what she's done, everything she's invented, created, the jobs. I mean, for her time, she was way ahead of her time. This is someone that lived in the 1800s and well into the 1900s, so if she was alive today, I mean, hold on one second. Of course. I knew I was going to get a phone call. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh my god. So I just got a phone call. Oh my goodness. Of course, that's what happens when you do lives. Which it's fine. But the person I was talking to, normally I see them calling. I'm like, all right, very fast. They get off the phone with me quickly. Usually it's like, what's going on? Okay, bye. Kind of a thing. This time they're like droning on and on and on about different medications and how it makes your blood pressure go up and how this medication affects your liver. Like, oh my god, I'm just like, all right, well, I'm not going to sit here and listen to this because I know all this stuff. But, anyways, I mean, I could go on for years about blood pressure or like how certain medicines, right, like elevate your blood pressure. And anywho, so, ooh, that's fun. I don't know if you can, interesting. I didn't know that, okay. I didn't know I could mirror everything like that. So, like I was trying to say, I used to live on the West Coast, in California, on the Bay. San Jose was like my go-to place to go to. So, the Winchester Mystery House, been to this place like 7, 8 times. To the point where, I mean, like, my family was telling me I should become a tour guide because I knew more than the guides. Because I was doing so much, like, research on Sarah after going to the house because it is such a fascinating place to be at. But, obviously, I didn't do that. I mean, I lived, I think, about an hour and 45 minutes away from the house, so... And with the traffic, the Bay traffic, no, that wasn't feasible. But I know this house pretty well. And right now we are standing in the main, I think they call it the carriage entrance hall. That's pretty close. I was going to call it the horse entrance hall, but the carriage entrance hall. And that's so that they could bring the horses, like if there was bad weather, they would bring the horse and the entire carriage into this one room. And then they could like walk it right through in and out. So it says the carriage entrance hall could have been used to draw in the entire horse and carriage to avoid any bad weather conditions. First example of a door that leads to a wall. So what I find very fascinating, that if you go around this corner here, right here, they actually have her horse carriage to show you that it indeed does fit in here. It was meant to come all the way in here like this. This is back here tucked away into storage. I do believe this, was obviously one of hers. And then this is where you begin the tour, is from here. You go up this way. And then out this, it's here. I wonder if you can see anything out these windows. Not really, just the other side of the house. So Sarah was like I said, way ahead of her time. Oh, there's the stairs to nowhere. This is the iconic stairs to nowhere that everyone thinks of when they think of the Winchester house. The staircase to nowhere. Staircase to nowhere. There are many unusual things here in the mansion, like this. A staircase that leads to the ceiling. There are windows that open to walls, doors to nowhere, staircases to nowhere, and even a staircase to the ceiling. No one knows why Mrs. Winchester had such bizarre things built into her home, but there are 2 theories. I have a theory myself. Let's see what they say. The first is that Mrs. Winchester may have had these things built to confuse the spirits of those who were killed by the Winchester rifle, which, oh geez, she was so worried about the spirits of the people that were killed by the Winchester rifle, then why did she continue to buy stock and maintain majority ownership of the Winchester rights up until her dying day? I don't think she was that worried about the spirits, but at least the spirits that were killed by the rifles. I don't know. You know what I mean? Who knows what she was thinking? legitimately, because she didn't really keep a diary. And the closest person to her was her niece, who lived in the house with her, plus her also friend. They say, her longtime friend, they say. So, they would know the most about her, and they didn't write anything about Sarah. No one knows why Mrs. Winchester had bizarre things built. For those to confuse the spirits of those who were killed by the Winchester rifle. The other theory is, although Mrs. Winchester was very wealthy, I'm ignoring you, and she could afford to build her house any way she wanted, she had no architectural training, and these may have been some of her minor building mistakes. That's been my theory this whole time. And I don't think it was a mistake. I think those stairs actually used to lead to a room. They used to lead to the room that's above there. But over time, it got built over because I think... Well, see, I couldn't figure out what was there at first. And then I built a replica of the Winchester house in Minecraft, which I know is a weird place to do it, but that was just like the most like... We're gonna just build this house right now. And I'm like, oh, I have Minecraft. So I built it in Minecraft. And honestly, I think what's above it is a bedroom. So I think that's what happened is they ended up just moving the stairs somewhere else for the bedroom over time. And every day her plans and the blueprints, the architecture plans would change every single night. So they were constantly building that place 24/7. They never, until her dying day. They're hammering away, night and day, and they're always changing the plans. So I think that's all it was. I think it was just, they're like, let's relocate this over here, and then she was like, I don't know, and then they left it, because they just kind of like would finish something up and then just move on to the next thing. It was probably just one of those things where it was already a finished staircase, and yeah, as you can see, the pipes going up to there, which I have gotten as far, like when back in the day you used to be able to get up here. So I've gotten as far as here. I've touched the ceilings back here, but you can't go back there anymore. At least I don't think you can. Probably not. Back in the day, like everything, you could go all the way up to where the door to nowhere is at, like right up to it. Okay, so then we continue on. I like looking at all the old wood. So here's an extra room that's stored. Well, I think this is just where they're storing her fixtures, but you want to talk about a lot of money in this room. This is, again, 1800s, and a lot of people at this time in the world didn't have plumbing, didn't have electricity. So she was like, had lavish. Lavish means, I think she got $100 or $1,000 a day from the Winchester. See, let me try and think what is above this room right here. I guess I might have to pull up my Minecraft game so we can see what's above the staircase to nowhere. So you can see how it slants right here, how the steps were going up. But then you come into this room. Now when the first time I came into this room, they didn't really have anything much. Actually, all of this stuff was on the floor. All of this stuff was just laying up against the walls, stacked up like on top of itself. A lot of this, like all of this stuff wasn't laying out the way they have it now laid out. In fact, the person, I remember for like one of my first tours there, they were like, man, we really need to get a new museum director in here, someone to help us curate all of this stuff that she had, because she has so much stained glass doors and windows. and we'd really like to display it, but we don't know what to do, and we're just leaving it the way she left it when she died. Now they have it all up nice and and they have it do a nice little light show. But outside of that, what's this? Sarah's story. We can watch it. Can we watch this?
Sarah Winchester was born in New Haven, Connecticut in 1839. At the age of 23, she married William Winchester, joining the family that would later produce the iconic Winchester repeating rifle. The Winchester rifle was innovative for its time, since it could consecutively shoot 15 bullets before reloading. It was so popular that it was nicknamed the gun that won the West, making the Winchester family, including Sarah and her husband, very rich indeed. Despite this wealth, Sarah was not very lucky. She had one child, a daughter named Annie, who died weeks after birth of a rare childhood disease. 15 years later, Sarah's husband, William, died of tuberculosis at the age of 43, leaving Sarah a widow. The legend goes that a distraught Sarah sought guidance from a medium who told her that she was plagued by spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles. The medium told Sarah that to protect herself, she should move out west and build a house, continually building but never finishing it. The house's many rooms would shelter protective spirits, and the sounds of hammers, saws, and drills would drive unfriendly spirits away. It's said that Sarah purposely designed this house, with its stairs to the ceiling and doors to nowhere, so as to confuse the spirits that meant to do her harm. For 38 years, the sounds of hammering never stopped, as Sarah and her workers built room after room after room after room.
She just didn't know what to do with it. That's what it was.
Now it's your turn to experience the unique features of this house. You can't even imagine how much money that is. Even today, that's a lot of money. For back then, that was an insane a lot of money. She also was, I think she paid her workers like $5 an hour, like that, which was way ahead of. Is this really still going? Oh, fascinating. There we go. Back to full screen. Thank you. That was nice. That's what they show when you're there. That's the little video they show. So, and then now this is pretty cool. I'm sure they'll give a little detail on this because it has so much symbolism. It really does tell you or show you the significance with numbers for her. Actually, I would like to count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I was actually not expecting there to be 13 dots there, but I kind of was. So she was enamored with, the number 13 was to ward off spirits. And then everything else was like prime numbers. So 7 and 11 she really liked, which I'm the same way. I like 7, 11, and I always keep 13 close to me too, because I don't know why. Wow. But she was like a numerologist. So numbers were extremely important to her, and like her name, how it was spelt and everything had a lot to do with her being a numerologist. The 25K room. Sarah outfitted her home with the finest stained glass doors, windows, and wallpaper that money could buy. She definitely did. This stained glass window was special. It is thought to have been designed by Sarah herself in a spiderweb design, and shows her fondness for the number 13, which you will see throughout the house. Note the 13 glass drops in the window. So there's 13 drops in this window also, but there's 13 drops in that window. I don't know if you could go on and on and on, counting everything. Like, her bedroom has like 56 panels, something like that, and that being her like prime root number. I mean, like, this is a whole thing for her. The whole numerology thing, everything coming, like, I almost feel like she might have been a little bit of a mathematician savant, and she just didn't realize it because she was so fascinated with numbers. She was also a very short lady. That's her height. Just under 5 inches. 5 inches, 5 feet. Oh my god. The cold medicine is not helping. This is why I haven't been doing videos, because I can't think straightly. And I really didn't want to do a live because I'm restricted with my lives. I can only 50 people can show up for a live, and which kind of stinks. Not everyone can like come and click on, but I'm sick and I needed a little bit of an L, and I miss Sarah and the house. So this worked out. So this, they're referring to this right here. This is probably the coolest part. This is on the outside of the house. I wish we could open it up right here so you could see, because her bedroom actually is, if we walked straight out these doors and looked to the upper left, that would be her bedroom. This is the only known photo taking of Sarah on the estate. It was taken outside these doors, exactly, and her bedroom was over here. Like, if you walked back, the way the horses are facing is back through that carriage hallway that we were first standing in. So this house has a lot of like ways to get back on itself, which I love. It was taken outside these doors, just steps from where we stand today. In this photo, we see Sarah in her carriage, and someone secretly took that photo. She didn't know they were taking a photo of her, which I don't know how that was a secret back in the 1800s. Didn't they use like the big ol'... But I remember someone telling me that, like one of the tour guides at the thing, saying that she didn't know she was getting that photo taken of her. She dressed in ornate black clothing to mourn her husband's death, and probably her daughter's too, a practice she adopted for decades after his passing. She was a very private woman and rarely ever had visitors here to the house. Her days were spent running the estate and making sure that construction never stopped. She was also a very small woman, measuring only 4'10" in height, and house was custom built for her size, which you'll see that as you go through the house. But yeah, these doors are here, open up, and for the horses to come in. And this was basically another area for the carriage to sit and whatever. Now we're here. Whoa, we're going right into a wall. Now we're headed to the switchback stairs, and this will be a good view of the stables. Actually, let's click on... It's in me. Oh no. What does that say? There we go. The switchback stairs. The switchback staircase has 44 steps, makes 7 complete turns, and runs 100 feet in length, but leads only to the second floor, 9 feet above. These stairs are called easy risers, and they're served a very good purpose for Mrs. Winchester. In her later years, she developed a crippling case of arthritis, which is also why she moved to the West Coast. It wasn't because she saw some medium who told her to go there, and how random. Move all the way to the West Coast away from all your family who's in the middle, well, let's see here, Midwest somewhere. No, she had arthritis. It's sort of like why I moved to the West Coast, or now I'm in Florida because of my health. The heat helps when you have aching bones and stuff. So, in her later years, she developed a crippling case of arthritis, and she couldn't lift her feet more than a couple of inches. She had normal stairs removed and easy risers put in, so she could still get around the house. So I think that's another reason why some of the spots in the house, like the stairway, like staircase to nowhere, I think that used to actually be a functioning staircase that she used. And when she got older with her crippling arthritis and couldn't do that no more, they got rid of those because obviously she couldn't walk up them anyways. And I think I think that's where the staircase goes to. I think it leads up to her bedroom. I might have to check out the Minecraft thing. I don't know if I'll have time to in this episode, but we'll definitely come back. But here's her horse stable, so she could check in on her horses whenever she wanted to, and you know, awesome. I don't know why I'm blurred out right there. Weird how they got this. So the switchback staircase kind of is like a Jacob's ladder. So it's like in on itself, going in and out and up and in, up and out. That would be a great way to say it. 360. Ooh. Oh, of the outside. This is of her garden. Now, they just recently built all this. This is new axe throwing that they have over here, which I don't know why. But here is the stables. Here's what it looks like from the outside, which you have no idea, like, even by today's standards, how nice this barn was and these stables were. She had a lot of money, but her garden comprised of plants from all over the world. This is inside the stables. See? Look how nice. And they all had little areas for their heads to poke through, so you could still see them from inside the house, which is ingenious. Wait, what was that? Hold on a second. I saw something. Oh, that must be a photo of her niece. This is what the house looked like. I mean, it still looks like this, but it's got obviously layers and layers upon layers on itself now. Okay, so back in the house we go. And as you can see, here are the little windows we could see right there from outside where the horses would stick their heads through, where you can pet them. I know. Crazy. I don't know if you could actually pet them, but in my head I'm just like, oh, because you can see the hay. You would think, you know, their noses, snoots are coming up there. I would pet them. Uh-oh. Oh, now we're getting on. See how the people scrape, because it's so narrow through here. And a lot of times in San Jose, because the only time this place is closed is Christmas. So, ooh. That's that. I don't know what that is, but it's old. So sometimes it gets really cold in there. See how it's coming up and in. And now we're up on the thing. So people always got winter coats and stuff like that. The hayloft. Now it's hard to imagine that this is where they stored hay because of how nice it looks and everything, but whatever. So this room was originally the hayloft of the carriage house, and Mrs. Winchester later... hold on a second. You know what I just realized? Okay. Like I didn't double check to make sure I unmuted my volume. And Mrs. Winchester later used it for storage. The cabinets you see contain artifacts from the mansion, such as Lincrusta Walton wall covering, which very, very fancy. I remember when my mom was redoing our living room, she wanted, and I didn't know at the time that this was basically, it was the same thing, but that's what my mom wanted in our living room, and that's what we have. We have this kind of wallpaper where it's raised. It's all raised up. It's really, really cool, but very old, very expensive. I think over here there's more, or at least there used to be more. Oh no, they got rid of it. Oh, there we go. They do have a diagram of the different wallpapers that are in the house. all in Cresta. The most expensive wallpaper you can buy. And for back then, that's saying something. This actually right here looks like the wallpaper that's in our living room, or my mom's living room. Now, don't paint that stuff because it's a biatch to paint. But anyways, so now I'm going to show you something kind of interesting. Is it this way? Oh no, maybe I haven't gotten there yet. Okay, never mind. So here is one of a sitting room or a parlor or something like that. I don't think there's no original furniture, because after she died, the family sold it. You know what I mean? Because they're not thinking like, oh, her house is going to get turned into a museum. They're thinking like, well, you know, Aunt so-and-so has died. Let's get rid of her things like we all do. So a lot of the stuff that's in the house is just a recreation of that time period and what they think that would have been there or from photos. Just another back way into that room. So it circles all the way around. That's why I love this house, because it seems elaborate, but it's not. It's just one big wall here. And I'm sure, you know, obviously there was a door there and a door at the other end. I mean, trying to rebuild this on Minecraft was a bit much, but now we're coming up to my favorite spot. And where I have seen... See, I don't believe in paranormal activity as much as I should, because I grew up in a house that's well over 100 years old. It was an original birthing house for the town I grew up in. And a lot of people were born there. A lot of people died there. So it definitely has kind of one of those feelings where you can tell it's been lived in. Or, you know what I mean? But other than that, I don't really believe in ghosts, because I don't think if there is an afterlife, you know what I mean? Do you really want to think that your loved one is forever trapped as like a spirit wandering in one spot of the world or like, you know, one location of the world forever? Or do you want to think of them like going to your heaven? Or, I mean, it's just... Ghosts to me are, and I haven't ever actually seen a video to me that didn't seem like it wasn't doctored or, you know, not a ghost video. So for me, it's harder. But the last time I was at this house, the last two times, well, no, not the last two times, not the last time, the time before that, I was at this house, I had paranormal activity happened to me, and I would have just, you know, sloughed it off. But there was also, I wasn't the only one that saw it. There was two other people that saw it plus me, and we were standing actually right where my mouse is at. We were standing down here in the courtyard, and we were looking up here into the window because we could see a tour coming through here, so we could see all the people walking by. But then we could also see this light bulb. And in the video, you can see the light bulb turns on and turns off. Turns on and turns off. And it's not like it's like a flick on, flick off. Like someone's flicking the switch. It's like it's fading in and fading out. And it's not like people are walking in front of it. Because you can see when the people do walk through, you can see their heads. But this light bulb is way up here. This is a tall ceiling right here. I don't know what it is. I still have footage of it. I guess I would have to find that footage again. But yeah, so this was her little parlor where she would, I don't know, I guess do bills or write letters or whatever. Come back down here. So now we're going to be coming up to Um, nice little look out here. These are all spider, She liked spider webs and daisies, mostly because of the 13 again. Indoor shower, which incredible. Absolutely incredible for the 1800s. Indoor shower, unreal. Indoor plumbing, I mean, I really should pull up some of these facts. So this right here is Sarah's room, this window. I don't know why they have it all exposed like that with the panel out. But that's Sarah's room, which she didn't actually spend a whole lot of time in as she got closer to the end of her days. Here it is. Because she spent, I think, every night she slept in a different room. Okay, so Sarah moved to California several years after her husband's passing, and from then on, her closest companions were her sister Isabel and her niece Marion, who lived here for about 15 years. So, okay, I guess they figured out that maybe the friend was her sister, because I never heard. Interesting. Who lived with her for about 15 years. After spending nearly 4 very productive decades in California, Sarah passed away in this very room, dying of heart failure during the small hours of the night on September 5th, 1922. She was buried next to her husband and daughter in the Evergreen Cemetery in New Haven, Connecticut. There's her husband right there, William. Sarah Winchester's room. This was Sarah's own bedroom. Its walls and ceiling decorated with the Lincresto Walton wall covering. Sarah Pardee was born in 1939 in New Haven, Connecticut. She grew up with 4 sisters and a brother and was well educated. She spoke 4 different languages and played 3 instruments. At the height of the Civil War, Sarah married William Winchester, whose family lived just down the street. They married for almost 20 years, and aside from losing their infant daughter, they had a good life together. When William died in 1881, he left everything to my beloved wife, Sarah. That was a lot. That was a lot of money. So there's the window that we could see from the other side that faces the bathroom. See how that opens up? Now, the reason for this, the reason why she had all these rooms opening up to each other, again, it goes back, stems back. I guess we'll just continue the way the tour takes you when you're on the tour. You don't go through here. You go like this. Which I wish you did walk through here, but they probably don't want it getting... I mean, it's just a breeze through for the guides. So while you're walking back through, they can cut ahead of you and get to the next room without having to wait behind you. Ooh, where'd it tick? Oh, that must have been photos of her sister. Because you're just going to come out where... and go around that. It's another little sitting room. Go this way. Here's another bathroom. There was 13 toilets in the house. And when you're on the tour, some of the bathrooms don't have doors. And you're like, why is there no doors on these toilets? But it's, it's so you can see the toilet. Okay, so yeah, we went all past all that. So now you come up to the seance room. Which everybody, when they come into this room, gets really freaked out. I don't know what it is, but there's something about the energy in this room that's kind of just like overwhelming. Her being a Rosicrucian, it makes a lot of sense why she had a seance room, because they believe in that stuff. It's like a form of meditation for them. According to legend, Sarah would visit this room and the dead. Well, I shouldn't say they believe in the way she used the seance. Like, if the way they say she used the seance room with a Ouija board and all that, it's kind of divided. That to me is for folklore, because a lot of tour guides over the years have created their own silly stories to make it more spooky and all that. And some of the stories stuck because they were good. But if you look at her religion, her beliefs and all that, her being a Rosicrucian, because she couldn't be a Freemason since she was a woman, so she was a Rosicrucian. They do need a space that is in the heart of the home, which this is located in the heart of the home for them to meditate. There's a door right here where it's not open, but this door right here, when you open it up, there are 13 hooks. No, they don't have that. There are 13 hooks symbolizing the 12 moons and the one, I don't know, 12 moons plus one. Something to do with Rosicrucian. I don't know anything about Rosicrucian, but something to do with, like, they need a different robe for the different moons, plus they have an extra special, like, robe, and that's where all of her robes were hung. That's what people think. That's what people really think that she used this room for. But again, we don't know, because she didn't leave a journal. She didn't, she's very secretive, very private, very mysterious lady, which is probably why I get called mysterious, because I'm the same way. Let's see what they say. They say it's room. According to legend, see what I mean? Not facts. Not according to facts. Not according to what Sarah said in her journals. No, according to what they were speculating on back in the day. Sarah would visit this room in the dead of night to commune with the spirits who gave her instructions for designing her home. Not Sarah herself coming up with these thoughts. No, it was the spirits. Oh, well, that's it. I gotta end the live. Alrighty. Well, we were 21 at 40, so I'm gonna pick this back up, because it's the Winchester house and it's a big house. So, anyways, I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.